I find myself in a bit of a crochet limbo at the moment. As of filming this, I have a big collaboration series upcoming with Complicated Knots. And while we have a tentative sort of schedule for the start of that, it's not 100% set in stone yet. We've just got to sort of figure out how much work we have left to do and if it's feasible to release the first video when we plan to. Because that's the case, I would like to have a plan B, a backup plan, if we have to push that release date further out. And that's what this video is going to be. Because I have so much else going on with this collaboration, I really don't have time to do a separate project. So I'm going to try my hand at something I've never really dabbled in much before, and that is make like a vlog style video. So I invite all of you to join me over the next week as I catalogue and talk about all my crochet and even some non-crochet related activities. And today is going to be my first day of vlogging stuff, or attempting to vlog stuff at least. And I've picked out a nice simple project, and that is just going to be to crochet myself some more blue granny squares. This square project is a bit of a departure for me actually. I usually have an idea or a goal in mind when I set out to start a project. But in this instance, I am instead going in kind of the opposite direction. I am just crocheting squares. I'm going to crochet as many as the blue yarn I have will allow. And then once that's done, I'm going to come up with a project that will incorporate all the squares I've made. So I don't know what that project is going to be at this stage. I have a short list of things that I might like to make, but it really will depend on how many squares I get, what shades of blue I'm working with. Lots of elements to factor in there. But before I even get to the project stage, I need to finish crocheting the squares. And these squares aren't too complex, they're just a solid granny square. In the future, I would like to diversify my granny square patterns, but that is not going to be the case for this project. It's Saturday, and I know I've only just started this crochet with me for a week challenge vlog thing, but I did nothing crochet related on Saturday. So generally speaking, my Sundays are reserved for a bit of gaming, whether that is just gaming by myself or gaming with my sister or gaming with my nephews. Sometimes it's a combination of those things. But recently my sister and I have been toying with the idea of starting a gaming channel just for a bit of fun. And this Sunday we decided to, just go ahead and do some testing, check our recording settings, check our mics were working, all that good stuff. And the game we're going to start off with is Minecraft, because I know there's, no lack of Minecraft videos on YouTube, but as absurd as the concept seems to me, she's never actually played it before. So that is the angle from which we're going to approach our Minecraft video, if it ever gets made, that is.
Teach me how to play Minecraft.
Well, you got the basics down, you learned how to punch stuff, but you need to upgrade now, because the next thing you need to learn is how to punch a tree. So now that you got a bit of wood, I'm going to turn that into planks, and then we're going to use the planks. Did you just steal my wood?
No, this is my wood. I worked hard for this. Right, so coal on top.
Oh shit, ow, it's a baby with a trident. Who gave a baby a trident?
Oh, he's coming for me. Take out the baby. I've got one heart left.
2 grown women taken out by a baby with a trident.
Hey, the tridents are doing the work.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that our safe space is no longer safe.
Oh, it's coming back.
Someone needs to put that kid in timeout. This morning I did a bit of crochet for the challenge that Complicated Knots and I are working on. And having done that, I realised maybe I shouldn't have flashed those on screen, because I don't know whether this video that I'm working on currently will be released before or after that series. No big deal, I can blur those if I need to. What I want to do this afternoon is make some bloody butterflies. I have been working on a project for months now. I actually started this project back Back before I like hurt my shoulder badly, some of you might remember there was, I think, a couple of weeks, maybe around a month, that I had to take a break from crochet entirely. I started this project before that, so it's been like 9 months at this point. Currently, I have made somewhere in the ballpark of 400 to 500 butterflies, and I'm really only halfway through. I really hope this is going to be worth it, because how the project looks so far, I am just extremely pleased with it. But I just need to get over this final hurdle, and by final hurdle, I mean the additional 500 butterflies that I need to crochet. And I need to leave a bit of a tail, because what I do before I attach these butterflies, get rid of the magic circle end, is I'll wrap the yarn tail around them once and pull that fairly tautly so I can shape the butterfly, and I'll sew them on at that point. That's another thing I'm getting kind of sick of. So much sewing. Not only do I have to crochet 1,000 butterflies, I then have to sew 1,000 butterflies. Do you ever start a project and partway through you go, why did I do this to myself? I've been at this a while now, but I finally have my 19 deep purple butterflies. I just got to crochet myself one more, and I think 20 was a good number for me today. It's a good indication of what I can get done in a day. I reckon if I hadn't crocheted those 2 pieces that I will not name from the challenge before, I could fairly easily see myself getting about 50 butterflies a day. And if I can manage to maintain numbers like that, I think I'll be on track to finish this project sometime in the next couple of weeks, I hope. Although it's been almost a year already, what's another couple of months really? It's just one of those things that I'm over the process. I want to get to the finish line because I really think I'm going to like this one. There's my struggling to talk and count at the same time. There's a few little issues that I'd like to address if I ever made it again, which, full disclaimer, I don't think I'm going to do because I don't really want to crochet another 1,000 butterflies. But I can put that in the maybe pile, revisit it in like 5 years. Because there are a couple of things, I know I'm being vague here, but I'm going to save, my full critique to that video. But there are a couple of things that I can do that I just think would improve upon what's already there. And I kind of wish I had thought about it before I had sewn down the butterflies that I crocheted previously. But oh well, you live and you learn. So this morning I crocheted myself 10 additional butterflies. I'm hoping to get 10 more crocheted a bit later, but it's just going to be a matter of seeing how I go. For now though, I do want to put some work into written patterns. I'm aiming to do 5 today. 4 of those are going to be from the upcoming as of filming this portion challenge series I'm doing with Complicated Knots, and the 5th one is the next Pokemon Blanket Cal written pattern. I'm probably going to start with the Pokemon Blanket Cal. What square am I up to? Let me check my patterns here. Is it butter? No, it's not Butterfree. I did Butterfree, didn't I? Pokemon Blanket Cal. Oh no, it's definitely not Butterfree. That was 3 patterns ago. So the last one I did was actually Kakuna, which means who is number 15? I'm terrible at remembering all the Pokemon, which is sad because Gen 1 is the generation I know the most about, that I recognize the most. I think, is it one of the flyers? Is it like Pidgeot. Once it loads, I will find out. Nope, not even close. Well, actually fairly close. I was one off. It's Beedrill. If I head back over here, I'm going to get up my Beedrill pattern. And I'd say a good 90% of the work is already done for this Pokemon Blanket Kel written pattern for Beedrill. I just have to check the written notes against the grid, and I'm going to color the grid too, just give that a bit of an upgrade, because the original ones that I used, they were sort of for my personal use only. They were like fairly hasty, so I could tell what they were, but I'm not going to give those to people as part of a written pattern. I am going to upgrade them a little bit. For now, I do want to start on my challenge series patterns. The first one, I'm not going to give too much away for reasons that I've mentioned already, but this pattern in particular is not going to be like a full PDF pattern with the color pictures and all that sort of thing. This is just going to be a pattern notes version, and that will make sense when it's available. So this one is really just a matter of copy and pasting my pattern notes into like the format that I use for my patterns and then exporting those. Another nice quick job that I can get out of the way. Alright, all my information is now in the document. I just need to format it a little bit, do a bit of tweaking and editing, just to make sure everything is up to standard. But then that is good to go as well. So I'll have that in reserve, ready to share with you guys at the appropriate time, or perhaps, depending on the timing, it's already out and available. I'll definitely be putting some more work into these patterns over the next couple of days, and then next week sometime is when I will crochet them and capture the images I need to put into the patterns. But, you know, for now, I've made a start, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm faced with the prospect of crocheting more butterflies. Do I really want to do that now? No. If I'm being honest, no. I am so damn sick of butterflies. But if I want to finish this project, I need to crochet some more. Yeah, but maybe that won't be today. Oh, I don't like being this close to the camera. Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. I haven't really had much of an opportunity to get anything done today. It's been a busy Wednesday for me, so I'm just going to put in a little bit of work this afternoon. I considered making some butterflies, but I am so bloody sick of making butterflies, so instead I'm going to crochet something else for an upcoming project. I'm probably going to have to put you guys down first, so let me do that. Whoop. What is this, you ask? I don't want to give too much away. I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot throughout this crochet with me week, but I'd really rather keep the reveal of the projects until the appropriate video. But this one is inspired by something that my nephews sent me, actually. And for it, I'm going to need some granny squares. You know, it's so funny. I spent the first 5 years of my crochet journey completely disinterested in making granny squares. But recently I've just been making more and more. But you know what? I'm having fun with it, so I'm going to continue to do it. But for this one, I'm just making a bunch of traditional granny squares in these two different blues. I'm not sure exactly how many I'm going to need at this stage, but I want to make about 5 or 6 of them. But then from that group, I'm going to take some measurements and I'll be able to work out exactly how many I need for the overall project. But I've made 1 so far, so a lot of progress made there. But I want to try today to make 2 more with this blue and then possibly 3 with this, again, to give me that 6 that I want. And then I can do some measuring, some maths. Maths is always my favorite. And this is another scrap busting project. That's something I want to do as well. Maybe we can do that tomorrow. I want to go through the yarn that I've got and make sure it's in project bags. I had that at one stage, but I had a bit of it was supposed to be a clean out, but I think some of my yarns got mixed around. And I do have ideas for so much of the yarn that I have. It's just a matter of like getting around to crocheting it. So yeah, we might do that tomorrow actually, because I also, while I do that, I can plan out my future projects. I like to do that at least a couple of months in advance for the most part, because as I mentioned, I can have difficulty crocheting for long stretches of time. So usually it takes me anywhere between a couple of weeks. Well, of course, it depends on the kind of video as well, but anywhere between a couple of weeks to a couple of months to complete a medium to large size project. Unless, of course, that project involves bloody butterflies, then it seems to take me almost a year. Yes, I'm looking at you. Now that I have these, I can do my measuring. I'm not going to go into great detail here just because I'm going to save the bulk of that for this project's video. So just pop you down, and that's too much. And we're working with squares that are approximately 11 by 11 centimeters. And I'm going to write that down. You know, when I first considered this project, I was kind of worried that these blues wouldn't work that well together, because one of the things I'm aiming for with, you know, the next several projects that I'm going to make is to use yarn from my stash. I don't want to buy anymore. And that was a concern I had, that they just weren't that compatible, but I actually think they work together okay. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. So hopefully that means the project itself will turn out not too shabby. But we'll have to wait a few weeks to months before we learn that. I'm going to put you guys over there and back in your bag when I'm done. But they actually weren't as taxing on my shoulder and neck and all the rest as I thought they might be. So I do have a little bit of crochet left in me today, which you know what that means. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, and today I think is going to be a good day. Like, the weather outside isn't the nicest, the cloud cover is low, the humidity is pretty high, unfortunately. But outside of that, I have no other obligations today. There's no work, appointments, anything else that I need to get done, so I can just spend my time doing various crafty related things, which makes me very happy. Because I have quite a bit of time, but also just so many things I could potentially do, it might behoove me to make a bit of a list. Not saying I'm going to get through everything on that list today, but I think laying it out like that is just going to allow me to prioritize, you know, what I need to get done, what I want to get done, and it's just a good place to start, really. So that is what I will do first. And I don't know if you can hear the background noise, but the birds are going absolutely wild this morning. There is so much squawking outside, so I don't know what set them off. Maybe they're happy it's Thursday too. So that is my list. As I said, I don't expect to get through all of this today, and I think I'm going to rearrange the order of some of these things because I would like to do a non-crochet activity followed by a crochet activity and just repeat, because that gives my hands and my shoulder and that a good rest. And that brings me up to 25 butterflies in the purple colour, which I think is a good stopping point for now. And as a treat, as a reward, I think I'm going to do some yarn sorting and project planning. I feel like I should have a cat on my lap when I do that. That's better. And shout out to my nephew for leaving his chair in here. I can make good use of it. So this is what I sort of want to go through a little bit and just get an idea of what projects I can make with these yarns. These red yarns, for example. Some of you might recognize this from the toadstool dress I made, I don't know, probably a couple of years ago at this point. But the funny thing about this yarn is I actually have more of it now than I did after I finished that project, because I found this in the discount bin at Spotlight ages ago. But when I was there, I was with my sister, and it was around that time that she was learning to crochet too, and she was really gung-ho about it. She was going to make her own clothes. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. So she had a big clean out a couple of weeks ago, and I am now the recipient of the yarn she had. This is kind of my random shelf that I don't really know what to do with. I've got this is the second Red Heart Granny Square skein that I want to use up. I've got thrifted yarn here. I've got that, which is really cool, and I want to do something with it. I just don't know what that thing is. I think these were the ones my sister found at a market one day, so she grabbed me some. And I never really had anything to do with them, so they just sort of sat there. But I want to get some use out of them. I want to create a project with them, so I need to come up with an idea for that. These, the Mandala Ombre ones, I purchased these myself a little while ago when they were on sale. But these aren't ones that are going to be used in a YouTube project. As much as I love, to crochet, to make videos on crochet stuff, I really want to be wary of falling into the trap of beginning to think of all of my crochet, or begin viewing all of my crochet like through the lens of content. I don't want to do that, because I feel like that would diminish or take away some of the creativity. I never want to feel like all of my crochet, has to be posted on YouTube or social media. I don't want that to happen. So there are some projects that are just, for me personally, I crochet them on my own time. I might post about them in the Discord so you can see them there, but they're not content. Yeah, when I saw this yarn, I really liked the colors. I really liked the feel of the yarn. And I was like, you know what? It's on sale. I'm going to grab that. And that's just something I'm going to do for me, for my own creative enjoyment. And then finally, in the shelf here, I've got my sort of chunky yarns. I really would like to get this stash down to just a skein or two, because these are all like leftovers from specific projects in which I use the plush yarn. Outside of those projects, I don't really vibe with it. So I would like to use it up. I'm kind of leaning towards making a blanket for my niece, because she's still in her like doll phase. She's really playing with her dolls, so I might use up like specific colors for that. I do have quite a bit at the back here. I do have quite a bit of white left over. That was from a project that didn't get made in the end. And I've got black and red too. So I'm thinking with that I might make a little plushie for my sister. When we do gaming, we each have our little characters. I've got a little dinosaur character, and she's got a little wolf character, which is predominantly white with red and black. So I'm thinking I might make that as a surprise for her. Apart from that, I do want to see what's behind this red yarn. Sorry, Belle, I'm going to have to put you down there for a sec. And then behind this red yarn, I'm not 100% sure what's actually behind here, to be honest. Yes, now I remember. More discount yarn. Those bloody sales, they get me every time. I am a discount bin goblin. But these are other ones that I just got pretty cheap. So of course, I was like, I can make something with that. And then I proceed to not make something with that. I think now looking at the colours, I remember I was going to pair this variegated yarn with the blue here. And even I've got purple there, which matches decently well. It's not a perfect match, but it's decent enough. So I might do something with those. As of recording this, I'm actually working on a series which involves... Hang on, give me a sec. I'm working on a series which involves, no, wrong drawer, granny hexagon cardigans. And that was another project or projects that were, intended to be scrap busters. So I might include some of those yarns in that series. My goal is to basically make granny hexagon cardigans, but customize them so they all have their own, unique individual looks. I do have a bit more yarn stashed away in my wardrobe over there, but a lot of that is already bookmarked for the Granny Hexagon series I'm working on. But the remaining yarn in there is already in project bags, so I know what I want to do with it. It's just a matter of getting around to actually physically crocheting with it. But now that I've sat here for, what are we on? Almost 17 minutes just gas bagging, I think that's enough of a break and I can return to the crochet. But I don't think I'm going to actually do crochet just yet. I would like to get started on sewing down my dark purple butterflies because I have butterflies kind of scattered all over the place at the moment. And one concern is that they're going to get lost, and I don't want that to happen, after all this time I've put into crocheting the damn things. So I want to get them sewn down as soon as possible. And because I have the 50 dark purple that I think I'm going to need, I can secure those. So that's what we're going to do now, which means we're going to hop back over that side of the room. At least the sewing for this project is not too intensive. For each butterfly, I'm only putting in about 3 or 4 stitches to attach it to the larger piece. The idea behind that was I really wanted the butterflies to have a little bit of movement. I don't know if that's going to work out exactly as I wanted it to, but that's what I was going for anyway. So, I mean, it's still, once you factor in, you need to sew down 1,000 butterflies, it's still a lot of work, but it's a lot less work than if I was sewing on the entire thing. Well, I have some good news and some bad news. In good news, I have sewn on all 50 of my deep purple butterflies, so yay progress. In not so good news, I think I'm going to have to crochet more of them. With all the previous colours, so the blacks, the 2 shades of grey and the white, I crocheted 100 each of those. I was hoping, because I'm planning to use more shades of purple for the remaining section of my project, that I wouldn't have to crochet as many butterflies. I don't think that's going to be the case, which means more crocheting butterflies for me. I am so ecstatic about that. I'm probably not going to do that today. I want to give the butterflies a break. Up next, I think it's going to be a little bit of computer work. I want to get some thumbnails made. I might do a little bit of editing as well, but I might alternate between doing that and doing a bit of crochet. I'm kind of feeling the blanket at the moment. I might start that for my niece. I finished up a couple of thumbnails, really pleased about that. I'd like to put in some work on the written patterns that I've got going on, and then I think I'm just going to wrap things up by doing just a little bit of editing. Yeah, I'll finish this off. I was going to stop now, but no, I'll finish off this round, and then we'll do a little bit of computering. I still don't like being this close. Anyway, today is Friday. In about an hour or so, I'm going to hop on a call with Complicated Knots, and we're going to do some collab stuff together. In the meantime, I might do a little bit more crochet, butterflies, most likely. And then this afternoon, I actually don't have much planned because my niece is coming for a sleepover tonight, so I'm going to take some time to mentally prepare myself for that. Well, I've done everything that I needed to get done today. I've put in some more work on the scrappy blanket, which I am officially naming the Unicorn Bath Blanket. And I've also crocheted myself a few more purple butterflies. To be honest, at this point, I'm just going to crochet butterflies from the rest of the skein. So however many that makes is what will get sewn down. And that is going to be it for Friday, or the second Friday, because my niece should be here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Sleepover time will officially begin then. Because that's the case, I am going to do the outro separately. So let's segue into futurely doing that. And that was my week of crochet, and I suppose crochet related activities as well. But I figured while I was in this limbo period just before the challenge with complicated knots started, I may as well give something new a go. So let me know what you thought, if you enjoyed this style of video. It's not one I'm probably going to do on the regular, but I don't mind switching it up every now and then. Before we wrap up entirely though, we do need to do... And today's featured creator on the hookup is Lester, and he says, I would describe myself as a happy guy who loves to knit and crochet. Something about that just strikes me as incredibly wholesome. So if you would like to check out Lester's links, all of those will be down in the description. And so we'll link to the hookup form if you'd like to apply for yourself. I feel a little bit odd to reach the end of a video and not have accomplished a goal or have a final project to show, critique, etc. I don't know, maybe that's just a me problem, but thank you all very much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, like the video if you enjoyed it, share it if you think it's worth sharing, and I will see you in the next one.